Hello and welcome to episode 184 of the 77 Club. It's the hope that kills you. Harry, start with the socials.
The Wolves 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter. We're back. Something happened with our podcast, didn't it? We've been on Spotify and iTunes the whole time, but we did disappear for a few weeks off other ones. But we are back now. Anyway, yeah, YouTube, subscribe. 5 stars on Spotify. We're up to 62 now, so that's for a few weeks. So do that if you can. And yes, hello everyone.
It's the first time we've had 4 for a while, I think, actually. Well, the 4 normal ones anyway. Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello, everybody.
And Jack Williams.
Normal's pushing it, but hello.
That's just very true, yeah. The usual suspects, shall we say. Harry, 2 games to talk about. This time last week, we were so confident, talking about a potential top 4 finish. And, you take a minimum of 3 points from these next 2 games, which were Arsenal away, West Ham away. 0 points later and 7 days. Here we are. But let's start with Arsenal away. Little bit of needle, which I hadn't really heard that term very much until sort of last week, and even the commentators were talking about a needle between the 2 sets of fans. I think after the celebrations, the Arsenal fans at Molineux a couple of weeks ago after their 1-0 win. And Arsenal went and did it on the pitch very, very late on. A couple of you went. I think all of you went, actually. It's only me that didn't go because I'm plastic. Yeah. Just talk about that that day. You're on holiday last week, so obviously, was it a couple of cans potentially on the train up? Oh, you've got a lift, didn't you?
Yeah, before we get to the football. I got a lift up with Walker and Bully and that. Jack's usual lot. I was just hammered, to be honest, as usual in the away game. But we had a good little build, didn't we? Went to the pub by King's Cross. I'm sure Jack knows. But we just all got battered, really. But
was there a picture of Bully with a cat? And I want to guess it was Bayliss that put the tweet out that said, "Oh, there's a cat in here. It's a good job Wilfred Zuma's not about it."
It was actually Bayliss.
I thought it was genius. Genius.
The cat was actually called Jack.
Because he's a pussy too.
They got the same hair.
Well, strange enough, the cat's called Jack and it's a girl as well. But yeah, you go. McGlynn's in King's Cross. Great pub if you.
It is a fantastic pub.
Anyway,
excellent. Old school. Bayliss, you took the missus along because you know how to date.
She said she wanted to go to a game and
date night done right.
One. So I was like, yeah, okay, Arsenal should be all right. And then there's been a bit of needle, but
when she said, "Will you take me up the Arsenal?" Was it exactly what she said?
I thought I got it exactly right, didn't I?
Better than the other way around, I suppose.
I mean, she was pre-warned that it's an away game, and that is very different to us getting some tickets in the Upper Billy Right to go to a game at Molineux. But yeah, fair enough. She enjoyed it until the 94 minutes and 58 seconds when all the bloody plastic cups started flying around. And we took our exit quite quickly. But
there was a little bit of trouble, wasn't there, Jack? Did you say?
There was quite a lot of trouble going out the ground. To be fair, we had.
I got roughed up a bit.
It's always horrible when you lose it sort of last minute like that. And I thought we were going to get a point as well, to be honest. So it was quite a surprise. I thought we were at least going to get a point, and that would be a good result. And it did kind of hurt. And then it is tough to take when you're walking out the ground and being the piss taken out of you by a load of tourist fans and everything. I can see why there was trouble, to be honest with you. And there's this kind of stupid rivalry between us and Arsenal, kind of brewing now under the surface. But yeah, I know Harry had a bit of had to show him who's boss, didn't you, mate?
Well, Harry,
it didn't go well.
You said you got roughed up. I imagine that you fighting is like watching like an old silent movie, when like the 1930s boxers are like put them up, and like skipping around. I imagine it's a bit like that.
Well, obviously I'd had a few, so I was giving it the very big biscuits, and it backfired, basically. Probably not the best thing to do when you're walking around with 30,000 Arsenal fans.
Yeah. I do remember you turned to me at one point, you did say, like, I just want to get my head kicked in, and you just want
to... One thing I did notice, lads, there were a lot of tourists, like on the commute in and out of the stadium, tons of tourists, and loads of empty seats.
I really am.
How the mighty have fallen. Like the top tier, the other end from where we were sat, half full, maybe 2/3 full. There were tons and tons of empty seats.
We better talk about the game, but I'm going to go back to before the game. So I remember saying, I was on the last podcast when it was me, Matt and Sam. I remember saying I was fairly confident, but I thought we'd play the 3 in midfield, be tight. But he went with the 3, didn't he? The 3-4-3 with Hwang. And in hindsight, obviously Hwang scored, so you think, brilliant.
Great
then
finish.
We just sat back. great. Oh yeah, great goal. But then we just sat back, didn't we, for 80 minutes, 75 minutes, and even at half time being 1-0 up, you could feel it in the ground. You just knew they were going to score eventually. And I wish he'd have probably maybe changed it a bit earlier and put another midfielder in, because we were hanging on and we were being sloppy as well. We weren't keeping the ball and Arsenal were pressing us. And in the end, although it was cruel and the late goal was very cruel, you could feel it coming. And although I was gutted, I kind of thought after we got what we deserved. We got what we deserved for hanging on. And the signs were there, because even though we beat Leicester, we were hanging on a lot of that game as well, weren't we? So all of a sudden, we're slipping into this habit of falling back and sitting back now, aren't we?
There always seems to be those moments in games. I know it happens all the time, but you think, oh, actually, we got away with that one, and then everything just moves on because they don't score. But I think there were 2 cases where it was slip up after slip up, and it leads to a goal down.
Yeah, I mean, we let them come onto us way too much in that second half. They had 26 shots, didn't they, in the end? And a lot of them were like speculative long hits and miles over the bar and stuff. But a team of that quality is eventually going to get a decent opportunity. And bad luck that they got one in the 95th minute. But there you go.
I don't think it's bad luck, but also you've got to just point to our players and say we had chances as well to sort of get another one.
Yeah.
We had chances not to kill the game off, but to at least ensure we got a point if we'd scored a second goal.
At 2-0, it's a totally different game.
Yeah, we just didn't finish them again, did we? We got ourselves to blame on both fronts, really. The chances we did have, we didn't take to score a second goal, and we invited the pressure on, just thinking, okay, eventually after they scored the one, like, okay, we're happy with a point now, we're going to shut up shop. You see it all the time, don't you? If you just try and sit back too much, then
you can't shut up shop again, though, can you? That's the if you try and shut up shop from.
I think the big
minutes.
one, the big chance, and he's been getting a lot of stick for his performance and for taking a selfie with the Mexican fans after, was Raul's chance. Not like in the first half, like he just puts it wide, and if he scores that, I mean, we've got 2 goals to protect, haven't we?
There were a couple of times with Raul, because it was on 20 minutes. I've got just written down that it was tripped by Ben White, which was off the ball. But what do you think of that, Harry? Because I mean, Arsenal are basically agenda FC, isn't it, when it comes to things like VAR and referees and stuff? But he definitely got away with that.
Yeah, well, obviously I saw it on Twitter after, because it was clipped up, but. If it was against Arsenal, they'd have been crying about that. But they were all laughing about it, weren't they? And nothing happened, did he? He didn't get booked or anything. White. Obviously, I can't remember at the time. No, but it was a deliberate foul. Yeah, he should have got something, but obviously they missed it. So,
obviously another row one was his yellow card, where he's telling the ref that it's not him being substitute. He gets his yellow card and then doesn't get substituted. Just very, very, very strange and very, very poor officiating, I thought, down throughout the game.
No, yeah. Why are they so bad? I mean. Yeah, you watch it. We watch it through biased eyes, but watching the game, everything that got blown went Arsenal's way.
Yeah.
For us to get a foul, it had to be a clear, big foul. Everything else was anything that was 50-50 went Arsenal's way every single time. It's just, I don't know. I'm bored of it because everyone seems to be crying about VAR, and I'm sure we'll touch on it about Moutinho and the handballs later, but. It is there to benefit the bigger clubs, and it is doing it consistently. It's not like it's every now and again there's a bit of a whopper and someone gets annoyed about it. This is now week in, week out, where the big teams get the decisions. So instead of it just being getting from the referees, they're now getting it from 4 or 5 of them sat in a bunker in Nontsville or wherever it is. Right,
because the thing, isn't it, Jack? The thing is, like with it, is that everybody's had a stinker of a VAR decision, so they can point to it and go, "Well, it happens to everybody." But obviously, with the bigger teams, the more chances you get, the more likely you are to score, and more likely you get the VAR decisions going for you. It seems
true. I think off topic though, I think this is the first time that a referee's come out and actually apologise for a decision with the Everton the other day, and it's a penalty in Man City again. If we think back to what happened to us against Man City. Yeah. It's what's good getting an apology 5 days later? What does that? You get no points for an apology, do you? So
no, exactly. And it's video technology so that you don't have to apologise. That's the whole point.
Again, the whole point of having video technology is it eradicates all this. It eradicates the inconsistencies, but it's clearly not doing that, is it? So if it's not doing that, what's the point? What's the point?
It was so much. It was so much clearer than Moutinho's one. The ball's literally bouncing along and the bloke goes bong straight on his elbow. Thanks.
Bringing it back to the Arsenal game, and I don't know what, probably because of the 10 points we'd had. I forgot that Sace had put the ball in the net and he got ruled off for offside, and that took quite a long check, didn't it?
Yeah.
But you watched it on telly, Sam. Was it pretty obvious? Because I haven't actually seen the images back. Was it obvious?
I think at the time, I think we knew pretty soon that he was offside. I think we were all quite.
The flag went up straight away, so we stopped celebrating, didn't we? But then the VAR check, I remember that taking a while. And then obviously Hwang scored after that anyway, so we didn't care.
They have to bend the lines to make it work.
They have to make sure.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest, I haven't actually watched it back yet. I haven't been able to do it mentally. The next day, I thought, right, no chance because it's too raw. And since then, it's just I haven't watched it back. So the only time I watched it was live in the stadium. So anything that you saw on TV, I don't know because I just couldn't bring myself to watch it back.
You didn't see Raul taking a selfie then with the Mexicans?
I saw that on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind about that. I mean, it's because they're Mexican, not because they're Arsenal fans. But I know other people kind of maybe took it the wrong way. But obviously,
it's when you do it though. That's the thing. If it could have got a 1-1 draw, no one would have said a word about it. But to go and lose in the 96th minute, not do a lot all day, miss the biggest chance to put us out of sight, and then go and have a photograph. It's you aren't doing yourself any favours doing that. Fair enough, he can do what he wants. I'm not.
I do think you're
chastising
right
for that. I'm going to chastise him for the performances, but
yeah, it's more to do with the fact that he's not been very good lately. I think, let's be honest.
We've got to talk about the elephant in the room, haven't we? We would have won that game if a certain right wing back didn't go off injured on the 60th minute. I think.
I've got to say, you've got to say
through the middle, up front.
But you've got to say that it was down that right side. That goal came from.
We'll get on to the West Ham game.
Both goals.
Both, yeah, both.
They had so many chances. And
do you think Wolves are weaker without Semedo?
Yeah, we are, because Hoover is possibly the worst footballer I've ever seen.
We'll get on to that.
In Premier League football. He is utterly staggering.
Hold the rant. Hold the rant for a second. Let's talk about West Ham.
No, Arsenal, sorry. Johnny come on. And from memory, he just looked a bit off it, didn't he? Because obviously he's just come back, but he didn't have a howler, did he, really?
No.
But I still thought he might start against West Ham. But yeah, good. And didn't it go down as an own goal, the winner as well?
And it did look like it was going wide, in all fairness.
Yeah, I think Sarr kind of helped it in, didn't he? And it took a deflection.
Should we move on and make ourselves feel better?
I feel better, yeah.
I mean, Neto came on against Arsenal just very quickly, had that chance, didn't he? Harry, do you think he should be doing better there, or do you think it's a good deflection wide from Ben White for the corner that then wasn't given?
Yeah, so at the time, I remember thinking, great effort, whatever. And but then you look back, it did take a big deflection, didn't it? And I think it was going in,
It was going in.
Yeah, I think it was going in, and great opportunity. And another one, a great play from Aït-Nouri, by the way, on that chance where he bombed down the wing, didn't he? Also, remember Hwang's as well, when he it'd have been second half, wouldn't it? When he I think he was trying to cross it, but it hit the inside keeper's leg and just went wide of the post. That could have been another as well. So although we only had 6 shots, we did have a couple of counter-attacking breaks, didn't we? But on the day, as Bailey said, they had 26 shots. So we did kind of get absolutely battered. And you could feel it in the stadium. It was one of them when you stood there and you're like... And to be fair to the Arsenal fans, that ground has got a reputation of being a bit quiet. Obviously, it was a huge game and they were very loud at the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you say 26 shots, but 5 on target is not a great conversion.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at... Oh, go on, sorry.
It's also kind of annoying when you're giving it the big one to the people above you in the tier. Yeah. quite a lot of me. And then,
it was a gamble.
Then I was in tears at the end, ironically. Yeah.
Right, let's get angry at the West Ham game now. I think when the team came out, I was fuming. I think everybody else was fuming. Obviously, one forced change, which was going to be Semedo. You think, okay, don't worry, it's Johnny's probably going to slot in there. But back 3 stays the same. And then Hoover, Neves, Dendoncker, Marçal, Trincao and Hwang up front with Fabio Silva at top. It's just like, Harry, we were just asking for it, weren't we? It was just, this is not a team that is set up to A, score goals or B, win a game of football.
Well, we all said as soon as the team lineup come out, we was all speaking, weren't we? And we were all worried. Everyone was worried instantly. And look, before, I didn't even think, but obviously it's come out since that we had a lot of players in the red zone. So we had to make changes, which obviously is a quick turnaround. But Hoover was horrendous. It looked like they didn't want to pass to him. Marçal... It did, didn't it? Yeah, Marçal, although he's been good at times, he's just not got offering anything going forward. I mean, on the day, nobody first half was good at all. But I think on the day, the only person you can give a bit of praise to was Fabio Silva second half. Because although his shots were flying over the bar, at least he was trying. And I was watching it with my dad round here, and he was pointing out, he said, look, people give Fabio stick, but he was trying to make things happen. And until Neto and Podence and that come on, nothing was happening, and it was a poor performance. And the first 10 minutes, I was on the edge of my seat thinking, "Come on, then lads, like we come out the box a little bit, yeah." But then that was it. We just sat back. We was like, there we go. Have a go, West Ham. You get the win, and we'll just sit back.
But Bailey's got to bring you in now. I'll let the leash go.
I am putting out a peace offering to Semedo after that game.
Clip that up.
Because watching Hoover play football was like dazzling Dave in a fucking afro. It was unbelievable. He's the worst footballer I've ever seen. He's the worst footballer I've ever seen. So
dazzling or
dazzling? Well, both.
He showed you up.
They are equally comparable. I've never seen. Never seen a Wolves player have a game that bad in the Premier League. The guy didn't know what he was. It
was bad.
I can't articulate how bad it was to watch.
And Trincao, by the way, you can't leave Trincao out of this. That whole right side going forward was just horrendous.
So it was bad, wasn't it?
Jesus,
it was really bad.
The other bad thing is that the best player on the pitch was the bloody cat kicker. He won everything.
Zuma.
He won absolutely everything.
Annoyingly, he was, yeah.
Poor Fabio. We were getting the balls up to him, but he just isn't going to win those challenges. He's not big enough, strong enough, or old enough, but experienced enough to win that yet. But it's all we get. He could be a superstar in 3 or 4 years' time. He could well be, but at the moment, he's bloody shit.
Yeah, the thing is with Hoover,
and that isn't going to get us up the league.
The thing is with Hoover, although he has played right wing back before sometimes under Nuno and he's done okay, but he's a centre half, isn't he? That's where Liverpool played him when he was coming up through their youth. So we're literally playing 2 defenders at wing back because Marcel was basically a left centre back for his previous club, wasn't he? And that's where we thought he was going to play. Yes, he's done good jobs as a left wing back for us, and he puts the odd ball in. But with them two at our wing backs, it just offered absolutely nothing.
The other thing is the bit of football I'd seen Hoover play before this. I thought he showed a bit of promise. I thought he was going to be like up there with Aït-Nouri, and
he's still quite young. In fairness, he is quite young. I mean, he came on against Wolves.
A lot of work. A lot of work to improve on that. I mean, at least his benchmark is very low.
Well, so wait. You mentioned bench there, but he hasn't even made the bench last couple of match day squads, and then you find yourself in the starting lineup, and then we go back to a transfer window or transfer windows that haven't been good enough, Jack. And do you think it's just that cover? Because you think Johnny would go back into there, but he's clearly not ready.
Yeah, Johnny's clearly not ready, and we both said the same thing, didn't we, Sam? That how can somebody 3 weeks ago not even be good enough to make the match day squad in our squad, which isn't exactly full of superstars down to the tail? And then the next week could be good enough to go into a Premier League game against a rival, in a really, really important game, particularly after the result against Arsenal. I know the performance was much better against Arsenal, but the result was poor. There's a lot of questions to be asked, but we were all worried when the team came out, as everybody said. And it's actually, bar the first few minutes, I think that's probably one of the worst performances of the season by a long way. It was absolutely shocking, really. And even from the players do I feel sorry for Hoover?
Yeah.
Not particularly. I know
he's been stitched up a little bit. I know he played really badly, but thinking on the whole, he's been chucked in. He hasn't played a lot of football.
I feel sorry for him after what you just said about him. If anything,
I can only describe what my eyes see in front of me.
No, I know.
I can only describe what I saw in the game, but I feel bad that he is a young kid. But we need players at this level that can come into that team and perform. And he was a fish out of water.
Wolves FI keeps saying in the comments he might be good in 3 to 4 years' time, but we keep saying this about Fabio as well. We want him to be good now. And although I do agree he's been thrown back in out of nowhere after not even being on the bench, so he's going in cold, but he's an opportunity to impress, isn't it? It's an opportunity to get his name on the first team sheet by putting in a good performance. And
but these top kids, really bad. Harry, these top kids, the ones that do make it, are the ones that play. One of them will play in a side of good experienced players and learn how to come through. Maybe 2. We're trying to do it with 3, 4, or 5. It's not going to happen. Fabio, Trincao.
Dendoncker was poor as well. We haven't mentioned him yet. He kept giving him the ball. First half, he was just giving it away so much. I think I tweeted out, I said he might as well have a claret and blue shirt on. He was setting them up more than bloody.
I've also got a second rant to have as well. This is going to get entertaining.
We might as well get out of the way. Go on.
If I see a fucking back heel on the edge of the box on Saturday, I'm leaving and getting on a train back to London.
I've got to say, though.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
We're just proving how fickle we are, Ian, because obviously we were jubilant after Leicester, but it is disappointing, these 2 results. And the game Sunday was weird because, like Jack mentioned, after the back of that disappointing loss, you want a response, don't you? And I know we changed the team loads, but There weren't much urgency there, was there? We were just passing it round, and I don't know.
There was
Harry,
we couldn't pass. That's the thing. We couldn't
that's
pass.
true.
Yeah.
That's the really shocking thing. You mentioned Dendoncker then. Yeah, granted, he couldn't pass either. And Neves wasn't much better. Like, to be fair, Neves shouldn't go without criticism here because he was poor as well. It was really quite poor from pretty much start to finish, really. And we mentioned the right-hand side already. But it just took too long to actually even try and change it, really. And you're thinking even these players, if they're in the red zone on the bench, they're going to be better than some of the stuff we've got on display here. But in my opinion, we had two really big games there. Granted, they've come quite close together within the space of 4 days. But it was a real opportunity and we bottled it. You can't say anything. We were 1-0 up away and we bottled it. We've gone to West Ham, who weren't that good. That's the thing. They were not that good at all. So they were there for the taking, and we knew that after 10 minutes. But then we've just let the occasion get the better of us. And again, the same thing happened, and we haven't been able to put the ball in the net or create a chance.
Right.
And
Jack, that wasn't the occasion getting to us. Couldn't string our passes together.
Well, then what was
we
it?
didn't control the game after the first 10 minutes. Quality. The quality of Wolves football was not good enough.
So, and I'm just going to use your own words against you now. You say in the previous podcast, you've sort of said our whole formation, our system depends on the quality of the wing backs. We've changed the wing backs, and my God, it was shocking. So,
I'm agreeing. I would.
We've swapped Nori into Semedo, and it's just not worked.
This West Ham game, and the Norwich FA Cup game proved to me, although the squad's looking healthier now, it's proved to me our squad depth in terms of quality is terrible.
Agree.
Because a lot of the players that come in were just not good enough. And
that's concerning, though, isn't it? When you have to look at selling players to bring players in, you're not going to get any stronger. And Harry, you made the point there. The term you used was people have filled in well, but I can't think of teams over the years that have got European places in the league by teams filling in positions. And we need players who play in these positions and then play to the system, because filling in is fine. And when it's going well, it's great. But when you come up against these games against teams that are around you and you're fighting for exactly the same thing, that's where he falls down.
Definitely, I agree. And I do just want to say, because I speak to my dad actually, he said, your podcast this week's going to be negative doom and gloom. I was like, yeah, it will be, because we've bottled a big opportunity, but we're still in a good position, weirdly. We're still on 40 points. We're safe, I'm joking. But we're still in and around it. But it's another huge opportunity miss, isn't it? It's just so frustrating. One win would have done. Yeah.
3 points from those two games makes the league table totally different.
Based on the performance of the opposition, there's no reason why we couldn't have got 4 points from those two games.
No, it's the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you.
It is. Yeah, and but the one funny thing was the amount of inflatable cats there were. I mean, that was the inflatable cat shop must have been absolutely going at it.
Like Bailiff said, Zuma must have seen it, because he had the game of his life. He was like a brick wall at the back. Any opportunities we did try and create, he was just cleaning up, wasn't he? First half, and Fabio went through, wiped him out, blocked him loads of times in the second half, and should he even be on the pitch? I don't bloody know, but he was man of the match, which is even more frustrating. And as Jack mentioned, West Ham weren't even that good. Antonio had a few runs, but apart from that, Declan Rice whacked one off the bar, but they were definitely there for the taking. It's annoying.
I thought something interesting that Bruno said, and I think it probably links back more to the Semedo injury than anything else, is that when he makes changes in attacking senses, he wants his back line essentially to remain the same throughout a game. I thought that was quite interesting, because we've got those attacking options on the bench, and it's just not clicking though, is it, Harry? At the moment, it's just something not quite there.
Well, he obviously brought Raul and Neto and so on again, but no, it's just not. And not talking to Bruno, by the way, his comments after the game were strange. I thought he said it was a good performance, although if you look at the stats, we had like more possession and things like that. But he can't really kid the fans, can he? I think everybody could see that was a poor performance, and I don't get those comments. Together. No, and usually with Bruno Lage, he's usually really honest and like refreshing his interviews. But it's one of the first times, even after the Arsenal game, actually, he said a similar thing. But for me, he can't do that, because the fans know when we play poor, and he can't pretend that we haven't.
Do you think that's something to do with not wanting to crush the spirit of the fringe players that he's thrown?
Maybe.
By saying we changed everything and then you were fucking terrible. That might get their confidence, really. But it's the truth. And what Dan said earlier about the back heels, it's just frustrating, isn't it? Because I think rather than shooting in training, they must practice like what we're doing now, shooting training. No, back heels in the penalty area training, or jumping over the balls. It's just frustrating, isn't it? And just like have a shot. For God's sake.
What was the idea of those back heels when there were 5 West Ham players there? If they'd have passed it directly backwards, it would have been a better option.
Poor decision making.
What about
very
what about this comment? Yeah.
Can we still catch 9 wins and 1 draw from the rest of the 12 games, which should be enough for a Champions League spot? Maybe that's more a dream than anywhere near realistic. I think you might have answered your own question.
Champions League has gone. It was never going to happen anyway. But realistically, we needed 4 points from those 2 games, and we've got none. What we need to do now
to get to April
is we just need to finish above Spurs now, I think, and try and get 7th realistically. But a few wins obviously just changed the position. But I think just try and get some European football, and don't. The way it's shaping up is one team's going to miss out and take 8th, isn't it? And I just don't want it to be us.
I think as well. Do you think it's easy now after the fact? But was there a little bit of false positioning given the teams that we hadn't played sort of this time last week, and that they were in and around, and we were almost beating the teams that we I guess we should be beating, I suppose, because beginning of the season we said that top 10 was a realistic aim. So we've beaten those teams below us. It's the ones that are above us that seem to go amiss. But Liverpool, City, teams we've got to play again.
I kind of agree, but after we lost to Arsenal 1 at Molineux, I was gutted. I thought, that's gone now. But then when we bounced back and beat Spurs, who are right by us, beat Leicester, obviously a good team, I thought, here we go. But then it's just... February's been a bit, obviously, hit and miss, hasn't it? 2 wins out of 5, is it? Or something like that. Before February, would you have took that? Probably not. Probably want another win or a draw in there, but... It's frustrating. And it's still not over, though. Yeah, or a cut run. But it's still not over. That's the thing. We're still in a decent position. It's just we could have been in a better one. But unfortunately, we're not.
Have Luton just scored the second goal?
No, it's 2-1.
I'll age the podcast.
Ages the podcast.
Mad, is it?
Let's turn our attentions to the next game, and it is at Molineux. It's against Crystal Palace. Bayliss, I'll start with you here. This is obviously a team that you would probably support if you had grown up where you live now. It's only a short bus journey away, isn't it, to Palace? But Crystal Palace, is it going to be a little bit of revenge from last time? Was it an away loss last time out, wasn't it, in November last year?
I don't know. Obviously, living down here, I know fans of Arsenal, West Ham, and predominantly Palace, because a lot of my mates are sort of South London. And I cannot deal with another week of just getting hammered on WhatsApp. So I'd love us to do them.
I'd love it.
I'd love it if we beat them.
But I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I had so much hope. This time last Monday, I was like, oh, come on. We're going for Europe here. And now I'm tired. I'm emotionally drained from poor quality football.
I'm guessing we're going to ring some changes, though, Jack. I hope. So, where will they be? Is it going to be the obvious ones?
Oh, that's a toughie, isn't it? Well, I would say probably a wing back. Aït-Nouri's got to come back in, isn't he? Let's be honest. We think the Semedo situation is tricky, isn't it? Because I'm guessing he's going to be out for at least another 3 or 4 weeks minimum.
At least. Yeah.
So, I mean, if Johnny's fit, Johnny plays there. Even if Johnny can only give 60 minutes, you've got to play him, haven't you? Whether he will or not, I'm not quite sure. Otherwise, I think Johnny's...
I could be wrong on this, lads, but I'm sure I saw somewhere that Johnny's out.
Johnny's out?
I could be completely wrong on that. I don't know why that popped into my head as you were talking, but I better just keep going. Keep going. He might not be, but I'll have a look at that.
Is Papadomni's fit?
Marcel?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Marcel and Aït-Nouri, obviously, they play in the same position, don't they? So that's one of them have to play on the other side. But,
one's just got to play.
Oh no, I think he'd probably stick with Hoover if it's the only one in his most natural position, wouldn't he? But again, it's not a good situation to be in. Well, midfield, is Moutinho back yet?
I think.
I think he will be. He was on the bench, wasn't he?
You've got to do Neves and Moutinho, and then up front.
Time to start Neto.
You can't rush him back too much. I don't think he would. It'd probably be something like Hwang and Podence, I'd say. Would make more sense. And then up front, then bother take.
I mean, at least Hoover will know he had a bad game. There's no doubt in that. So he has got a chance at instant redemption. That is the only silver lining to this. Is he has got an immediate opportunity here to put it right and take the bad comments and use them to get better.
The worrying thing is, though, is that comment about it's like they wouldn't pass to him. That's not the first time it's been said about him. It's been said in previous games as well, and that's worrying. If your own teammates don't have the faith in you to pass to you, you're basically nullifying the position. It gives you one less out ball. Even if they subconsciously have to think twice about whether they should do it or not, it just slows it down. So that's worrying, really, and something we need to tread carefully with, I think.
Harry, what's the front three going to look like in the world of Mansell?
Personally, for me, it would be Raul Jimenez, Hwang, and Pedence. But I personally think he might start Fabio Silva again, just because of the performance he put in second half. And I think I think Raul needs a bit of a run out the team. But because we've had a whole week off, the players that were in the red zone will probably all come back in. So it'll probably be a similar starting lineup to Arsenal, you'd imagine. But we've got to, like you say, got to have Aït-Nouri back in there. I don't know about Johnny. I could be wrong about that. But if Johnny's semi-fit, like Jack said, I'd play him. If not, give Hoover another chance. We've got no choice. Drop Dendoncker, Moutinho and Neves if we can. It's got to be the 3-4-3 as well for me. I don't want to see us have free midfield at home to Palace. We've got a 3-4-3, go for the win, and just hopefully we get a bit of revenge after the last time. She was on my 30th birthday. I remember when they beat us 2-0 at their place. Jesus Christ. That was one of the worst performances of the season. As well, wasn't it? Yeah.
That said, Kundal, what he did was perfectly good. Better than how Donker's played in the last 2 games.
Spurs, yeah. And he's just signed a new deal.
But it's weird then, Donker. He had a couple of good games, and now he's gone back to old ways.
He was great at Spurs. But
great at Spurs then.
Yeah.
It's kind of Dendonker's way, isn't it? About 1 in 3. He has one blinder and then just a bit of a passenger. But
if Palace beat us, I think we're 10 points ahead of them, aren't we? If they beat us all of a sudden, what is that, 7 points behind us? If we got a bit of a mad crap run, they could pip us, couldn't they? But
got to win your home games. Let's do a score prediction, Bayliss.
2-0 Wolves.
Jack.
I saw nothing from the performance last week to say we'll win 1-1.
And Harry?
I'm taking hope in the fact we've got a week to prepare for it, and we need a bit of a reaction. So I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves.
We go 2-1 Wolves, of course. Let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news.
Only a couple this week, so it's a bit rushed getting them out. But and if we score 2 goals, like 3 of us think, a miracle. 1-0 Wolves, Daniel Pedence to get the goal, 28-1.
Nice.
It's also a 2-1 Wolves, Jimenez to score first, 50-1. It's all right.
Will he start?
Fabio start.
And then I actually put a Semedo one in, and I forgot he was injured when I did it. So I'll do another one at someone's request. Go on.
Hoover.
No.
Straight swap.
Go Fabio Silva, 2-0.
2-0. We've done a 2-0, but okay, I'll do another one.
Or 2-1, it's up to you. I've done 2-1 as well, haven't we? Right, 4-1.
4-1. 4-1's on.
Do you want to know what 4-1 Fabio Silva is?
Oh, it'd be big. Yes. It'd be big.
That's what she
It's
said.
not. What the hell?
He's a striker, isn't he? Yeah.
What is it?
280-1.
Oh, that's quite big.
Later one.
Excellent. And Jack has your ticket news.
Yes, I do. So I don't know if anybody got the email from Close Shop FC, which I got. I think it was early in the day or yesterday. But tickets are on general sale for the Palace home game and the Watford home game.
Wow!
No,
so
Close Shop
they're on
that's
general
outrageous.
sale. There are tickets remaining as we speak, and so much so that Wolves had to send an email about it to remind everybody. It kind of makes you think now that there seems to have been a lot better availability since they've reopened the green stand. I keep calling it. I know it's not that anymore, but the temporary stand, the Graham Hughes stand. And there seems to be a lot more availability with regards to the tickets. But it's just sort of make you think now. It's kind of like, do we really need a 45,000 seater stadium, or do we need that just when it's Man United and Liverpool? It's one of those weird things, isn't it? Because these games are obviously, to even get down to general sale, earlier in the season, it wasn't happening. There wasn't even a general sale window. So there's definitely an opportunity in March, or a few opportunities actually, probably with the Leeds game as well, which is on TV, to come down and support the lads. The next game after that, after the Leeds game, is Villa at home at 3:00 on a Saturday. So I don't think that one will have the same availability.
That will be Close Shop FC, that one.
That will be back to Close Shop FC, yeah. And the Everton away game, which they just looking at it now annoy me because they moved it to Sunday the 13th of March about 2 weeks ago.
And you booked your train ticket, hadn't you? And you said, and Matt Cooper was adamant you could get a refund.
Well, I didn't know he worked for Trainline.
Is he lying? Is he a liar?
The thing is, like, I appreciate that games move, and games move all the time. And I always wait until, firstly, the TV fixtures come out, up until the period where I'm going to book my train.
Yeah.
And secondly, like when the tickets go on sale. So basically, what's happening on this occasion is they've moved the game after they've started selling tickets for it on the day that it's going to be gone. Like that's bad in my opinion. That's like proper taking the piss. Fair play, move it before you can even buy a ticket, but to change it after people have bought tickets, it's really unacceptable in my eyes, and it really wound me up because I lost 30 quid on my train because it was non-refundable, even though I tried to get it back. And secondly, it's moved to a day that I can't go to now because I can't get a train to get. If I get a train from London, this is on a Sunday. This is again a rant about bloody the railways, but. If I want to get a train that gets into Liverpool in time to the first train on a Sunday that gets me in, it's like 45 minutes before kickoff. And the ground is 45 minutes away from the train station if you walk it. So like I can't get an earlier train in. So I've had to just fob it off. But
why is it so bad on a Sunday? Saturdays are all right.
The moral of the story is,
reasons I think is where it stems from. But
the moral of the story is don't move to London.
Don't move to London. You'll either be stabbed or unappreciated.
Or drive.
Oh, drive.
You got to have a beer, though, haven't you?
Yeah, come on.
Well, you ain't got to, but you know what I mean.
Well, you haven't. You?
someone else was driving. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But,
that's right, isn't it?
What, Kurt?
Let's move on to very quickly. Harry, I think there's a couple of new deals for a couple of players this week, which is good to see. Tying down the youth, they'll be good in a couple of years, I'm sure. We need the players now, but who are they again? Remind us.
So Luke Cundle, after his like Pirlo-esque performance against Spurs, 4-year deal. New 4-year deal, so that's good. He's obviously impressed. Bruno Lage, he said a few times he's a fan of him, and the other ones, Nathan Fraser. It's either under 23s or the under 18s or something, but he's been banging the goals in, and so he's got his first professional contract, so he'll probably be starting. He might start Saturday.
Well, there's a shout, isn't there, for Kem Campbell? Got a hat trick in midweek for the under 23s against Reading under 23s. Mascaro was also on the score sheet in a 4-1 win. Is he knocking on the door, Harry? Is he?
Did you see Chiquinho's run in that? I think it was that.
Yes. Game. And I thought it was a penalty. It might have
been. It was a penalty, yeah, 100%.
So maybe he might be knocking on the door. But saying that, all our bloody wingers are fit now, aren't they? So he might struggle to get in.
That's true.
Who did you say? Sorry, Yerson?
Yes.
Also,
no, sorry, Kem Campbell was the one.
I doubt he'll be getting in, if I'm honest. But also, Bolly was back on the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was that West Ham?
Yes.
Forgot to mention that, but he just popped up again. We probably won't see him for 2 months now. Then he'll pop back up on the bench again. So very strange.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to a quiz. Harry has prepared a quiz. Lovingly prepared a quiz. I love a quiz.
I mean, we had them on for a few weeks, but I thought because there's not much else to talk about apart from the games. The theme is this week. It's a good one. I'm telling you. I'm going to say that now, and it's the first season under Fosun. They've been getting a lot of stick lately, so let's go back to the worst year we had.
Okay. Oh yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just 2 questions each. There is a tiebreaker if we need it. Sam, Jack, then Bayliss. It's all random, so it don't matter. So let's start off with Sam. 2 questions each. Right, question 1. For the 16-17 season.
That's going to be embarrassing.
Better than his usual 19-16-17 season.
True.
Right then, Sam. On the 24th of September that season, Wolves beat Brentford 3-1 at Molineux. 2 of the goals coming from someone who did not score again. Who was he?
That's a horrible question.
2 goals. And he didn't score again?
Ever again. Well, he might have, but not for Wolves.
Paul Gladden?
No.
Were they Bonatini's last goals?
No, it was Bonatini. Wasn't even there. Bonatini come the season after.
It
was João Teixeira. Remember when everyone got excited?
Oh, he was really good. He was for the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Didn't he go to Liverpool?
I don't know.
He went to Forest for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he scored 2 goals
at Liverpool
in that game.
I couldn't even imagine what he looked like.
Portuguese. Jack. On the 14th of January, Wolves beat Aston Villa 1-0 at Molineux. Who endeared himself to the Wolves fans with the winning goal? 1-0 to Wolves at Molineux. Fun fact, this is one of the first vlogs I ever did. And he got 25,000 views. Never get that anymore. Never
vlog anymore.
No.
There's lots of Wolves fans who will know this straight away.
What's his bloody name? I'm trying to think what his bloody name is.
I knew it straight away before he even read the answer.
I was definitely at the game as well. As I would have been.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah, I'll give you 10 seconds. 10-second countdown.
Was it?
No.
Was it the guy? Was it the guy that we got from Cardiff?
It's Joe Mason, yes.
Joe Mason. That's it.
Joe Mason, of course, yeah.
So, Jet Bayliss, you can take the lead here, mate.
I think
Yeah.
This is going to be a tragic quiz, as you can tell.
No. Wolves were Wolves were hugely disappointed at Molineux with their league losses reached double figures. They moved away from any real threat of relegation, but nevertheless, there were 3 managerial casualties by the season's end. Who were they? So we had 3 managers that season. Name all 3.
Jacket,
Yeah.
which then would have led to Paul Lambert.
That's 2. There's one more.
Oh,
Come on, Bayliss. Come on.
People are
easiest
screaming at the
question so far,
radio.
Come on.
Or their headphones.
shit. It wasn't Solbakken, was it?
Oh,
no.
That's maybe
Yeah,
what that.
yeah,
I can't think
yeah.
who it was.
It was
Zenga.
Oh, Zenga!
You get it mixed up.
Me and Jack went to Blues, the game that he won.
Yeah,
and
but he was doing
we all
the
got
bowing.
coins thrown at us. Oh my god! Been a
I
long
mean,
week.
no points after round 1, lads. This is terrible.
This is but this is before we were good.
Yeah.
I
You all
literally had
supported Man United
points
this
thrown
year,
at me
didn't you?
singing
Yeah,
his
that's
name.
all. Yeah.
Right, back round to Sam. Next page. Yeah, this is getting interesting. The highlight of the season was a 2-1 win over Liverpool at Anfield in the FA Cup 4th round. Richard Stearman's goal in the first minute provided the platform, but who scored the other goal for Wolves?
This is
No,
easy.
Helder Costa.
Oh
No.
my god! It's
Lee
wrong.
Wyman.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Oh, I got the wrong.
Costa set it up. It's Wyman. Oh my god, lads, you're having a shocker. Costa did set him up, to be fair. He had a
That is
great
shocking.
game. God, no points still. Jack, back round to you, mate.
I can only see Costa in my head.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he did have a worldie, to be fair to him.
He ran
in
like half the length of the pitch and then just
Yeah, and
put it
set
wide,
up.
didn't he?
He set up Wyman, like he ran the length of the pitch, set up Wyman. Jack, in the League Cup, before finally bowing out at Newcastle, Wolves beat 2 clubs from the 4th tier of English football 2-1 at Molineux. The club's names start with the same letter. Who were they?
Can you say that again? From which tier?
So, in the
Fourth.
League Cup, we won a couple of rounds. In the 4th tier of English football, beat them both 2-1. They both begin with the same letter, the 2 teams.
Notts County.
You're wrong already.
Like I say, right.
It was no, it was Crawley and Cambridge. I didn't remember that. That's a tough one.
That's horrible. That is
Yeah,
gross.
can someone get an answer right in a minute, lads? Bayliss to take the lead.
No chance.
Here we go. Which London club, you should get this, you live there. Which London club brought them down to earth by beating them 2-0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup? Who knocked out the FA Cup that year, basically?
Is that when
lost 2-0.
Chelsea did us at Molineux, but we actually played really well. Yeah.
There we go. 1-0 to Bayliss.
That's
Tasty.
a shocker.
Last round.
I should have got
Bayliss is in the
Zenga
lead.
really as well.
Yeah. Right, Sam. During this season, Wolves endured a bad run of successive defeats, but put it right with an equal number of successive wins later in the season. What was the number?
Bloody hell.
How many did we win in a row?
4.
Oh, it's fine.
1 year out. Damn it.
Back round to Jack.
Clean sweep for me, at least.
Within-
I'm consistent.
Within 5 days in March, the Wolves away support was treated to 2 wins in a row in West London. They came on the 14th and the 18th of the month. The first by 2-1 and the second by 3-1. Which 2 sides were beaten?
The fact you said West London makes me
Only
think
2
it's probably
teams.
like QPR and Brentford.
We went.
Oh, no.
Well, no, we went
Fulham.
Fulham.
Fulham. Oh, was it
It
Fulham?
was-
Did we go
it
to
was
that?
Brentford and Fulham.
Yeah.
Both
Remember, we were at
Great.
the back of the upper tier at bloody QPR, and you couldn't see the other end of the pitch.
Yeah. Bonatini scored that day, didn't he? No, he didn't. I'm forgiving another season.
No, it's wrong season.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm good at
Right,
this,
right.
isn't he?
Breaking news: Bayliss has won, but he could take the lead even more now if he wants to. Bayliss, just to wrap it up as the victor. Hold on, let me find the question. 2 penalties were both converted, helped Wolves to avoid defeat in one game and win another. The first got Wolves a 1-1 draw at Villa Park on the 15th of October. Villa's goals also coming from the spot. The second came in a 3-2 Boxing Day win over Bristol City at Molineux. Which 2 players took the penalties? Oh, that's hard.
Jesus,
I remember the
definitely
Villa
not.
one.
Yeah,
I
so
remember
you
the
said
Villa
everyone.
one. I actually
Yeah,
remember
so
the
it
Villa
doesn't
one.
really matter what I
We
say.
drew. Think of our best players from that year. I don't want to give you a clue, but you already won.
I'm guessing Vyman would have taken one, but I couldn't get the other.
No, it was Costa and Cavallero.
Oh, right.
Perfect. Well, we have showered ourselves in glory
Yeah.
with that. Excellent.
Should I just quickly
Was
just to
quite
give you that? Bayliss wins one question right. Terrible. The last question, which is a good one. Which Yorkshire club did Wolves beat 3-1 away, yet lost 4-0 at home that season?
Huddersfield.
No, it wasn't. You're all shocking.
Wasn't
We
it?
ain't doing a quiz
That
ever
is
again.
shocking, isn't it? Wow.
It was Barnsley.
Rotherham. Oh.
Barnsley.
We lost 4-0 to Barnsley.
Oh, we did. Yeah,
we
we
went
did.
to Newcastle and won 2-0 under Zenga. But yeah, you're all shocking, and we're never doing a quiz again.
It's amazing how like a little interest you take when we were shit, isn't it? You just don't remember stuff, do you?
Yeah, slept since then. Is that when you got beaten up in Newcastle, Harry?
It was. I got glass. I still got the scar on my
You
shoulder.
got previous. You haven't.
There we go. Yeah, but to be fair, that weren't our
Massive
fault.
war. Wasn't it?
That was out of nowhere. It was Seb's fault. They were
Don't
throwing
go
ice
to
at him.
Newcastle.
There you go. Nothing to do.
It was in Tiger
right.
Tiger.
Oh, very classic.
Funny story as well. We saw just before we got glassed. We saw who's the physio? He used to be a winger for Wolves. I can't. His name slips me.
Tony Daly.
Yes, he come walking up the stairs. I'm like Tony, because obviously we're buddies. Just won 2-0. I've never seen anyone dart so quick out of the building. But yeah, there we go.
Perfect. A nice little family story to finish off the episode. Right, we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
See you, everyone.
Jack Williams.
Bye, everybody.
And Dan Bayliss.
Next week's going to be a more positive podcast.
And it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.